Well, hello and welcome to this video. This morning I thought it would be really nice if we just had a little sit down and a fika and a catch up, because it's been over a year since the last time I posted. I do apologize, this past year's been kind of crazy, but first let's pour ourselves a little coffee and get right into it, I guess. So yeah, as I said in the intro, it's been about a year since the last time I posted. As everyone knows, 2020 was absolutely crazy. The world descended into chaos and we have yet to reemerge, especially here in Canada. Grand old times in Canada right now. Oh, that's hot. Yeah. Last time we left off, oh man, I was gearing up to get married. I was gearing up to move. There were a lot of exciting things on the horizon for me. And then the end of March hit, and that all fell by the wayside. Canada went into a lockdown, as everybody who lives here knows. And it was pretty crazy. It was absolutely nuts. So our wedding got postponed. We weren't able to get married in July. Our posting got postponed. We didn't move the end of August, mid-September, whenever that was going to be. Yeah, didn't happen. Just did not happen. So here we are, the middle of May 2021, and I can thankfully say that things kind of got on track for me. After the lockdown lifted, I went back to work as an assistant manager at a fabric store. It got really hard with all of the COVID restrictions and stuff. Customers got totally nuts, and I had a bit of a nervous breakdown. Well, I shouldn't say a nervous breakdown. I was very stressed out. I was having a lot of trouble coping with the fact that I wasn't getting married, that we weren't moving away, that I was going to be here still for an indeterminate amount of time. Because during the lockdown, my then boyfriend, fiance, his course that he was taking with the Air Force also got postponed. He was put into like a 7-month lockdown, something around there, like end of March. The country locked down. The province came out of the lockdown towards the end of May. He didn't go back to his training until the beginning of November. So it was a big gap where he was home and had nothing to do and was kind of losing his mind. I was mourning for, the loss of our wedding, for the fact that we weren't getting posted. We were like gearing up to start a family. Like a lot of really exciting things were on the horizon for me at the time, which just totally got dashed, thrown by the wayside. Thank you, friggin' COVID. Thanks a ton for that one. So yeah, I was in poor spirits. He was also in poor spirits. Didn't help that my work was stressful. Didn't help that he was stressing me out. We're having some other issues during the summer as well, which weren't helping anything. But a little bit of a reprieve finally came in October when I left my job and started a new job working in the back room, the production side of a thrift store, which is something I'd always been curious about and really interested in. I had a friend who's worked at this particular thrift store for like years, like 8 years, I think, something like that. And she always seemed to more or less enjoy it. And it was, yeah, I like looking at people's weird stuff. I'm totally all about it. So I went out on a limb and took a leap of faith and I applied for the job. I got it because I was way more than qualified. So I currently grade clothing. So I look at the clothes, the condition, the quality, and then assign a price to it, essentially. Which is cool. It's fun. I've always been really into fashion, and with my sewing experience and my experience in like textiles and stuff, I've got a really good basis to gauge what is quality versus not quality. And whether something's in good condition or poor condition based on how the fabric looks and feels. So yeah, I was way overqualified, got the job, but that was a huge step for me. I'd been working at the fabric store for 8 years, which again, really long time. And it was kind of like my second home. Like, I'd actually worked there in high school, and then I took a year off, which worked out for me because I had some health issues. And then I went to college, and then I worked in the industry that I got my education in. I was a funeral director. That could be a Fika for another day. And had some trouble there. So when I came back, because I didn't know where else to go, I came home. I had been living in a different city for my funeral services job. When I came home, they gave me an opportunity to come back to the store and work because they all loved me, which is great. And it kind of became my safe space. So it was really, really hard. I had tried to find other work elsewhere, just because, you know, part-time retail isn't very reliable and doesn't exactly pay the bills. It's hard. And I like physically and mentally couldn't handle the stress of having 2 jobs. So I just really relied on the busy seasons to save up my money when I was working like 40 hours a week. And then when times were slow, I just lived as frugally as I could. Always tried to have a living situation where I could maintain my household on that lower wage so that it wasn't so tight. But even then, that's really, really hard. So I was there for like 8 years, and it was my safe place. It was my second home. Like, I got promoted up to assistant manager, which, you know, helped with the bills, helped me pay off a bunch of debt that I still had from college and stuff. But it was taking too much out of me. I'd lost like all ambition or interest in doing any of the things that I really enjoyed doing. Like, I stopped sewing. I wasn't practicing my pagan traditions anymore. I wasn't really celebrating high holidays because they often fell on like work days. And it used to be when I was part-time, I would just book the day off and I would, you know, have my fun, do my fun little witchy things. But when you're responsible for running the store, that's not an option anymore. So that was a hard adjustment. It was very different, and yeah, things were just not going well. So, leap of faith, got the new job, which again is still kind of like a Monday to Friday, 7 to 4, 7 to 3:30, something like that sort of thing. It frees up my weekends, which is kind of nice. It doesn't give me that flexibility for religious days, holidays, holy days, whatever you want to call them. But it finally returned some peace of mind to me, and actually I've been far more inspired to sew. I've been getting back into it. I've been like watching more sewing videos and stuff. I've found a little bit more of my old self, the pre-stress, pre-COVID Melissa, which has been really nice, and it feels really fulfilling. So that was a huge blessing. Yeah, it was something. Change of pace was definitely very much needed, and I really do appreciate the fact that that happened. So yeah, October was kind of a turning point last year for us, and then in December, just around Christmas time, we actually found out, like the first day of Yuletide, we found out that we had conceived a child. So that was the most exciting thing that I could possibly think of. Like, we were trying. And yeah, it happened just right away, right off the hop. We were very, very lucky. I was extremely nervous and apprehensive because 1 in 4 pregnancies does terminate within the first trimester. So I was so excited, but I was trying not to keep my hopes up just in case we lost it, because you never know. Like, you never know. It's just how it goes. So, yeah, that was an awesome little Yule gift. Unfortunately, meant couldn't have a ton of fun over Yule. We had a teetotal Yule. I drank a lot of hot cocoa because trying to lay off the coffee intake, hence the decaf. But like, coffee. Like, how can you Fika without coffee? So, yeah, Christmas time, Yuletide, whatever you want to call it, was really nice. That was, second big breakthrough we had. Then this spring equinox back in March on the 20th, I finally got married, which was, the next thing on the list of things to do to get our life kind of back on track, and aligned with where we wanted to be and where we knew we should be, and where we were feeling really bad that we weren't. So another great exciting thing that's happened in the year since I last chatted with any of you. The final thing that I have, the final exciting news, oh hey buddy, little kitty's come to visit, is that we are finally moving. Hubby's finally finishing his course. It's been so long. Okay, yeah, that's little Roser. Yeah, he's been on course so long, it kind of felt like it was never going to come to an end. His Christmas leave was extended because of our January, February lockdown. He actually went back to work the beginning of February. I went back to work the middle of February for about a month and a half. So, yeah, his leave was extended by about a month. Which, I mean, it is what it is. We got to spend a lot of time together. I got to spend my first trimester at home. Excuse me. So I didn't have to be sick at work. I could just be sick at home and not have to explain to anybody why I looked like a ghost and I was spitting all the time, because thank God I didn't throw up. But I was so nauseous and just so uncomfortable. It was really awful. So being home together, that was super nice. He'd make me tea anytime I need it. He made sure to bucket just in case. But yeah, that was good. So that got extended. Finally, he graduates the end of May, the end of this month, and we're getting posted. So we know where we're going, which is taking a weight off my shoulders. It means I can start planning for, I have to start planning for the move because it's going to happen fairly quickly. And I can start planning for the baby. I've been kind of panicking because we weren't sure when the posting was going to happen, what our timeline was like, where we were going to go, if we ended up on like the east or the west coast and we had to take a plane to get there or something. Like, I was really nervous about being like late into my pregnancy. I'm still into the second trimester, so travel's not such a big deal now, but with the way everything is, I don't want to be on an airplane right now. They're really heavily encouraging pregnant women to get vaccinated, which, like, that's a whole nother topic. They're saying that it hits us harder than anyone else. So I'm really grateful to be having like this stay-at-home order and like hanging out in the house and not seeing anybody. I'm staying as safe as I possibly can, getting lots of fresh air. I've got gardening and stuff to do at a moderate pace. But yeah, there was a lot of trepidation. I was very, very nervous, very afraid for what this posting was going to mean. But we're actually not too far away from where we are now, so I'm really grateful for that. We can drive. It's within a day. It's going to be fine. I may have to pee on the side of the highway, but such is life, you know. There are no public restrooms available these days. But yeah, things have finally caught up to last August. And yeah, we're actually expecting our little daughter in August. So things have come around. Everything is finally looking good, even though there's so much bleakness going on in the world and things are still in such disarray and such chaos around us. At least our life together has finally calmed down and come to where it needs to be. So yeah, I'm just very relieved. It's part of the reason I'm making this video. I'm gonna have a lot more time on my hands when we move, I'm gonna start working from home, working on my sewing, you know, doing alterations, hemming pants. I'm gonna have a little sign out front on our lawn that says I hem pants and then my phone number. Something I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to be self-employed in the sewing field as a seamstress. So I'm excited. Hubby's actually really excited too. He really supports me in my sewing and my art. So that's really helpful because I've always been afraid to kind of try to go full time with it. I've sewn on the side, like when I was working part-time, to kind of, you know, make ends meet, have a little bit of spending money. But there's always that fear of like leaving your job for something that's not going to pay you consistently when you get like more or less a consistent wage that pays the bills. It's an entirely other thing to be panicking that you're not going to make rent that month because nobody needs, you know, a dress altered. But now we're going to finally be in a place that is an option, because we've always kind of planned for me to be a stay-at-home mom. We really want to homeschool our children, and that is very nearly impossible, pretty impossible if you're like working full-time. So I'm going to be a stay-at-home mom. I'm going to help supplement our income. I'm really glad we have this opportunity that like his income will be enough to get us by, and anything I make on top of that, we're just gonna like stick it in a savings account. I'm just gonna funnel it away, use it for any incidentals if need be. But yeah, so I'm gonna start that. I hope to start selling some of my own clothing designs online. I'm also extremely excited about that, having a little online boutique shop thing. But yeah, everything's coming up, Melissa. Cheers to that. Finally, a year of hell has led to some really good positive movement, some growth. It's gonna be all right. That's all I can think, is it's gonna be all right. Someday this stuff will all calm down. We'll get it all figured out. For now, I'm just gonna be excited and happy that I'm finally getting where I need to be. He's getting where he needs to be. We're getting there together. We've put in all this effort and all this work to get where we need to go. It's finally paid off. And thank goodness. Thank goodness. So I think I'm going to wrap this up here because I got nothing new to share. If you'd like to leave a comment down below, tell me what kind of coffee you're drinking. Tell me what kind of sweet treat you're eating. I've got a little oatmeal chocolate chip muffin that I should probably get to. And tell me what's going on in your life. Do you have anything exciting going on? Like, how you doing? How you holding up? Drop it down below. I'd absolutely love to engage with you guys and just hear what you have to say. And I hope you have a great day. I hope you fight off that COVID malaise, and I hope you're all staying safe and doing what you gotta do for you. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye!